What is Street Fighter? Is it a video game? Yes. Is it a waste of time? Definitely not. But what it is that it's a cultural phenomenon. Street Fighter is a series made by Capcom in 1987, where it was pretty much the stepping stone for the fighting game genre in the video game industry. But it was also another important part in competitive gaming as a whole. So, I wanted to interview people, like my friends and family, to see what their opinion is on Street Fighter and how it impacted them mentally and emotionally. So join me, as in I partake into this adventure where I interview people that I love and care about. Thank you. I wanted to interview myself for this documentary because I think it's really important for me as the interviewer compared to the clients that I'm going to talk to, like my friends and family, about this, because I think it's really important for me to know more than a lot of the people that I'm going to interview. So introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm Camden's dad.
I am Matt.
Hi, my name is Jason. I go by JMill.
My name is Tim. I haven't been playing Street Fighter a lot, but I've been kind of interested in it, and I've been trying to get myself more into the scene a little bit.
Okay.
It was one of like the first video games that I played, in arcades, because there wasn't a lot of like interesting games like that, especially fighting games back then. They were more like story based, and you'd go like through like Kung Fu, which was a fun game back in the day. But like Street Fighter was more, 1v1. It was really fast. It was fun, and they had really cool characters. It was a really cool game.
It's a fun game that I play sometimes when I'm bored.
To me, like, Street Fighter is sort of like pretty much like the genesis of like competitive fighting games. Cause like I'm really into Melee, like the competitive scene of that. But like without Street Fighter being a thing, like we wouldn't really have like competitive fighting games as a thing. So that's really what it means to me. On top of it just being like, like Ryu and Ken and all that. That's what it means to me.
To me, I haven't been really, like I said, I haven't really been with the series a lot, but I got into Street Fighter V through Cam, who's recording this, and it's been really fun, and it's been a lot of fun playing it. But to me, really, it means like kind of just I have to think about this. It's just overall like a really fun, popular game that like really brings people together, really.
What Street Fighter means to me is that it's a cultural phenomenon for a lot of people. There's characters that people love no matter what, like people will die by their character that they play. The music, the art, the movies and stuff like that, it's really important for people around the world. It's just that good. There's characters around the world that are really important, like they're not all from a fantasy land, and it gives it more of a sense of normalization, with the main character Ryu being the star, of course.
That's what I expected.
Oh God. Well, when did Street Fighter 2 come out?
1991.
God, I'm old. Yeah, so then about that time, because it was right around, when I was in high school going into college. Played a lot of it in college. So that's kind of when I started it. What was the other question?
What was it like?
It was just really fun. You know what I mean? It was like just something different. Trying to figure out like combinations and stuff like that when a lot of the games before were just pretty basic.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty interesting.
Oh man. I think that had to be in like 7th grade. I was playing with my friend Domingo for a couple hours. I slept over his house and we played it all night long, like learning the game together. It was a lot of fun.
I mean, I've always like known about Street Fighter. Like I saw like, Evo Moment 37, the whole like Daigo Perry stuff, but I think I only really got into it recently because of my friend Cam, who's filming this. And but yeah, I'd say that's when I really got into it.
It was Street Fighter V. You got me into this, Cam. And it's been a lot of fun. Like, I've been obsessing over Ed, and he is literally the best character ever.
It was when I was really young. I was playing Street Fighter 2. I was a Ken player. with my cousins, and I got a little bit out of touch with it. And then when I played a lot more video games during my dad's divorce with my mom, Smash Brothers, this Nintendo fighting game, got me into a lot more series, and I played more video games. And then when Ryu, the main character of Street Fighter, got announced for the game, it made me want to go back to Street Fighter, cause I loved it. Like, I wanted to go back to it and just compare to what I loved as a kid to what I was then.
Aegis Reflector.
I liked, what was it, Dalcine?
Yeah.
I liked the way his limbs could stretch, and he was kind of, he'd cheat so you could be far away, and I used to play with my friend James. I used to piss him off all the time because I could hit him from far away and he didn't know how to block it at the time. So that was fun because he couldn't get close to me. And he used to spit fire, so I thought that was badass. And then when he started, he was crossed his legs and he levitated, so I thought that was kind of neat.
I love Blanca because he has the electric move and then he can't take damage because he's invincible. Very neat.
Aegis Reflector. Urian. Urian, definitely. I love Urian so much because not only I love the way he plays, but he's just he's such an overconfident evil guy. He's so it's just fun to hear him talk. He's always kneel before my power, and it's super funny.
Tremble before my might.
Ed, obviously, and in second place I have G, and Ed is an amazing character because he's connected with another great character, Balrog, and they are an unstoppable duo. And G is also really cool because he looks like Abe Lincoln, and he's got some really cool moves.
Her character, like I said earlier, is Ken, because Ken is this very energetic version of Ryu, and he has crazy kicks, he has really interesting moves, he's got crazy fire moves as well, he is fast, he's insane, he's so funny, he's a father to a child that is really important to the story, because his story is that he wants to have more notability and have more money to support his family, kinda, but that's pretty much the story of him.
So you can.
I think the second one. I think that's probably the one that I played the most. The first one was kind of just just two characters. It was boring. So the second one was definitely a lot more fun.
Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Okay. Do you have a reason?
That's the only one that I've played besides. Well, no, I've played others, but it's the one that I played the most.
Yeah.
Third Strike, easily Third Strike.
Probably Street Fighter 5.
Is that the only one? Because it's the only one.
It's the only one I know.
Okay. My favorite game in the series is Street Fighter 3, but I love them all. Even the characters, every single character I find in Street Fighter, I find very interesting. But my favorite game is Street Fighter 3 Third Strike because of a lot of just interesting in-depth combos and cancels and choosing your character and what super moves you can pick. It has so much customization and introduced a lot of things that Street Fighter would use later down the line.
Oh god, music? No, I have no idea about that. The one thing I did like was when you could smash the cars.
Mm-hmm.
Then you could do that spinning kick thing,
Mm-hmm.
and you could smash the bumper with it. So that was kind of fun.
Oh, I like Ken's fire uppercut.
Okay.
I don't know what one it's called.
I mean, I kind of did before, but my favorite move is Aegis Reflector because that's Urian's super, and it's such a good move too. Comboing people with it, it's so good. But that'd be my favorite one.
Ed's Psycho Upper is the best move in existence.
My favorite music is Kanzuki Beach from Street Fighter V. I think a lot of Street Fighter 3 music, however, is amazing. I'm going to use a lot of it in this video. It's very important to me. Street Fighter just has a lot of good music and a lot of good characters and a lot of just everything. And my favorite Street Fighter move is probably Shippu Jinrai, which is Ken's super move in Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. It has so many crazy kicks, and he does like this giant aerial kick at the end. It looks really cool, and the effects and stuff like that make it really awesome.
Sonic Boom!
These are like tough questions. Treating this very seriously. No, I mean, it's just, I like the nostalgia, you know what I mean? Like, keep the old school stuff, make it easy, you know, for people to use. You know, don't use too many buttons, because for us old people, it's hard to, like, navigate, you know? New controllers are a lot harder. I had a Nintendo and had 2 buttons, you know? So, that was, or my Atari, which was just a joystick and a button. So, no, I guess keep it simple for the geriatrics like me.
Should make. Do they have a rep from Czechoslovakia?
No.
There. I want a Czechoslovakian rep in Street Fighter.
I say future of Street Fighter. I don't really know. I mean, yeah, honestly, like maybe if they brought back like some of the older characters, like from like Street Fighter, like Third Strike, or like you know, like characters like Necro or like DJ, people like that. I think that'd be really cool.
I would like for Ed to get rid of that stupid haircut that he has, and maybe get some fashion sense, and then it'll be a 10 out of 10 game.
What I want in the future of Street Fighter is that I want a lot of people to be happy and have really good representation of different characters in media. For example, there's a character named Poison. She's a trans character for the first time. In fighting games, she was really breaking ground for the time when she was released, and I really hope she comes back. Yes, her name is Poison because she looks like the members of Poison from the rock band. A lot of references like that in Street Fighter are very common. And I really want the community to come together again. I think that people should get back into fighting games more. It's really important for me and other people that I love, and I really want more people to give Street Fighter a chance. I know that it seems really difficult at first, but after a couple hours you get really used to it. And yeah, I think that Street Fighter 6 is coming out next year, and it's gonna be a breakthrough thing for the fighting game community. I really hope that that my favorite character, Sean and Dan and Necro, like all these characters that I really love from Street Fighter 3 and Street Fighter Alpha come back. It's just such a good series. Every character is really unique in a way. Some of them are very boring than others, but I really hope that everyone is happy in the end.
Hadouken!
Of course, the people that we're going to interview had a huge impact on the Street Fighter series as well, because I grew up with those people. They're very important to me. But I wanted to have this section dedicated to a lot of the crossovers that Street Fighter has that impacted the video game scene as a whole, and just show you how important it is. In Fortnite, there is 6 Street Fighter characters, meaning that it is one of the biggest collabs that they have done for a video game franchise in Fortnite, which is the biggest FPS game in North America. Another crossover is Super Smash Bros., where these 2 characters, Ryu and Ken, have made it into Nintendo's All-Star Fighting game as one of the biggest faces of the fighting game industry, not even just the video game industry. Another one that I wanted to talk about is their collab with Marvel and Capcom. Marvel and Capcom have been really good buddies for the past couple of years, and have made countless of crossover fighting games with them, because Capcom made a lot of arcade games with Marvel, and then they were just like, I wonder if we can make our biggest fighting game franchise fight Iron Man and the X-Men and the Hulk. So it started off with just the X-Men versus Street Fighter, and then it branched off to Marvel superheroes versus Street Fighter, and then they were just like, okay, let's just make it all of Capcom. So there's just Devil May Cry, Monster Hunter, Mega Man, Ace Attorney, all of these big video game franchises that Capcom owns is fighting people like Groot and Rocket Raccoon together as one fighter, which is really funny. But there's a really cool clothing collab that they've done with Capcom, and it's with Nike. And Nike made Street Fighter 30th anniversary shoes. And it references the moment that I was talking about in the previous video that I can't show because it's not my original footage, called Evo Moment 37. It is the biggest moment in fighting game history, not even just Street Fighter history, and it is very important to a lot of people that got into fighting games as a whole. So if you want to look that shoe up, I'll probably put it up here, but if I can't use that footage, I'll just link it in the description. My final collab that I wanted to talk about is the Japanese company that also makes fighting games that was rivaling with Capcom at the time, named SNK. SNK has countless of fighting games that they have made in the past, like Fatal Fury, The King of Fighters, Samurai Showdown, The Art of Fighting. All of those franchises were big fighting games in Japan. Not really in the US, but sometimes in a little bit of South America. But I wanted to say that SNK means a lot to me as well. Not as much as Street Fighter, but my entire motion graphics project was a reference of this guy, Terry Bogard. He is the main character of The King of Fighters and SNK as a whole. He is the face of the company, and he got into Smash Brothers with Ryu and Ken. So, I want them to petition to make another Capcom versus SNK game. I want the two biggest rivalries in Japan that were making fighting games in the 90s to 2000s to make another game. A lot of people want it, and just because one crossover with Street Fighter didn't work out, like Street Fighter Cross Tekken, it was still a fun game, but it wasn't marketed. I want both of those series, Tekken and the entire company of SNK, to cross over with Street Fighter again. It's really important to do that. I think that as a whole, Street Fighter has meant a lot to me and millions of people across the world, and thank you so much, Professor McGrath, for letting me do this project that I was thinking about wanting to do for a very long time, but this just sparked a very huge flame in me. So thank you everyone for watching this video, and I'll put the music in the description. They're all bangers. Just listen to all of them. I'll segment them. I used one song for each segment, so if you want to look at them, please do. They're all certified bangers. So, see ya.
Don't give up. Challenge again.